Welcome back to Streamline Entertainment. It's Marvin speaking. I came across Crime Top Talk, and they said I think they finally connected the dots of the Amy Lynn Bradley disappearance. This is my improved, more detailed theory of Amy Lynn Bradley. I believe Yellow passed off at 6 a.m. a meeting spot. So Amy went missing basically on a cruise. She was with her parents and her brother. I think it was March the 24th, 1998. She actually went missing. So I'm not going to play the video on this, but I'm going to play the audio because it's much better. Because like I said, on the video, when I played it, it was very, very low. So I'm going to play the audio on this. And if people want to cross-reference it, you can also find the video, Crime Top Talk. Let's get into it.
The Amy Lynn Bradley disappearance. Hear me out. Her brother and her are partying, right? He's done. He's ready to go to bed. Amy stays. This is when her and Yellow develop the plan that they are going to meet at 6 a.m. for rugs or whatever it may be. Now Amy's got some time to kill, so she heads back to the cabin, her room. She hangs out with her brother, sits on the balcony with him for a bit. He goes to bed. She stays out. Her dad wakes up at 5:30 and sees her feet, her legs, bottom half of her body. At 6 a.m., he wakes up and she's gone. That's because she left at 5:45 to meet Yellow at 6. This is when Amy and Yellow pass Lori and her friend. She sees them get in the elevator and go to the very top floor. About 10 to 15 minutes later, she sees Yellow come back by himself, hanging his head in shame, doesn't talk to them, which is odd because he's a womanizer and he would take any opportunity to talk to two women that are alone. I think Amy thought that she was meeting him to get some more rugs, but he passed her off in this moment. But it's 6 a.m. Who does this at 6 a.m.? We already know that Yellow has had complaints filed against him, that he has asked other women on previous cruises to meet him at 6 a.m. at the same spot. This is the plan. This is the perfect time, actually, because they are about to dock the ship. It's just before too many people are awake, but just the right time. Everybody's about to get off.
Everybody's about to get off. Interesting stuff. And why this also video caught my eye is that there was a lady in the chat, Black Flamingo, and she worked on the same ship where Amy disappeared all that time ago in March 1998. So she said, I worked on the same ship where Amy disappeared. You are 100% correct in that theory. Wow. Why did she say that? Really, wow. Have you made any videos about it? Black Flamingo says, hey there, no, I haven't, but I will say that it happens more than people think, sadly. I was 21 years old, just someone so young girl, years old, and the time she disappeared. I'm 48 now. Wow. Unbelievable. So the creator said, that's so crazy. Thank you so much for sharing. If you ever make a video and speak on it, tag me. I'll support you. Black Flamingo says, oh, thank you so much. Sorry, let me go back there. Sorry. Sorry, she said, oh, thank you so much. I sure will. I'm thinking on it. It's just a scary situation. I appreciate you. Wow. So there are people that sometimes sit in the background in many cases that sort of know a few things that was going on. I mean, this Yellow was supposed to be part of the band, wasn't he, at the end of the day? But like I said, what we sometimes don't realise, there's a lot of party rugs going along. There's a lot of drinking. There's a lot of young people who are partying as well. The biggest problem is the brother's name is Bradley. The parents need to be suspects if they can name their son Brad Bradley. Who knows what they are capable of? Interesting stuff. Abby says Amy Bradley did not have a cell phone. Nobody had cell phones, so she did not have an alarm. Didn't conveniently wake up at 5:45 a.m. for their scheduled 6 a.m. meeting. But if you've got an alarm clock, you could do. She fell overboard, and it's tragic. Wouldn't need an alarm clock, says the creator, if you never went to sleep. But you could be right. And yes, tragic either way. That's a massive possibility. I mean, there's a lot of comments on here, but I did want to read this one out by Devin Jones. And he said she did not leave the room. She most likely jumped because, one, she obviously felt hurt over what she did to her girlfriend. So she was a lesbian. The message in the bottom there is clearly indicates the deep pain. Second, on top of the family were very harsh because she was gay. And I didn't know all this before. There is a reason that the family tried to keep this hidden for so long. The family know deep down inside why she did it, and they want to take any crumb to blame. Everyone else but themselves. The guilt they have is why they continue to try to look for her, because they don't want to accept the fact that they are the reason she jumped. Why would she be walking around the boat with no shoes on? If the father was able to wake up 30 minutes, he was not in a deep sleep and would have woken up if she came back to the room. I left in the 30 minutes he was sleeping. Also, why would the dad report her missing after only 30 minutes of searching? Because they know she jumped. Wow. That's a massive possibility. I mean, that was one of the main theories from the start of this case. There's so many good messages on this case. Let me know what you think, people. Do go and subscribe to this young lady here. She made some amazing points. Crime Talk and myself, Streamline Entertainment. Let me know your thoughts, because obviously people still talk about this case even today, and it's still going on now. I had another channel ask me to look back into the Amy Lynn Bradley. They're actually looking at some more information on the case, and it's quite an old one, people, but some people will remember it, or some people have just come across it, and it's very, very gripping and strange case as well. So Amy Lynn Bradley was born the 12th of May 1974, is an American woman who went missing during a Caribbean cruise on the Royal Caribbean International cruise ship Rhapsody of the Seas in the late March of 1998, people. That's like over 27 years ago now. While en route to Carago, her whereabouts remain unknown. She was 23 at the time, old, from Longwood University, graduate at the time of her disappearance. Wow. She was an American from Pittsburgh, Virginia, US. So on March 24th, 1998, the ship door lock system recorded Bradley returning to her family cabin at around 3:40 a.m. in the morning. After staying up late dancing, her father, Ron, awoke around 5:30 a.m. to see her sleeping on a deck chair. However, she was missing at 6 a.m. when authorities were alerted. The Netherlands Antilles, Coast Guard, conducted a 4-day search in the surrounding waters and along the cruise line, to no avail. Authorities began to speculate that she may have fallen overboard and drowned. There have been possible sightings of Bradley in Carago. In August 1998, tourists saw a woman resembling Bradley on the beach. Further, in 1999, a member of the US Navy claimed a woman in a brothel said she was Bradley and asked him for help. In the years followed her disappearance, somehow new evidence would arise, leading to theories including Bradley being sold into human trafficking industry or potential remains. The case has been presented on Dr. Phil and America's Most Wanted. In July 2025, the 3-part documentary series Amy Bradley is Missing was released on Netflix. So the disappearance, let's read some of this. Between 5:15 a.m. and 5:30 a.m. on March 24, Ron awoke and got up to check on his children, where Bradley was still sleeping on the lounge chair of their cabin balcony. Wow. Ron told local newspapers, "I could see Amy's legs from her hips down. I dozed back off to sleep. The balcony door was closed because it hadn't been closed. I would have gotten up and closed it. However, other reports indicate that the balcony door was open at the time. When he got up at 6 a.m., however, she was missing, along with the cigarettes and lighter. He later said, I left to try and go up to find her. When I couldn't find her, I didn't really know what to think, because it was very much unlike Amy to leave and not tell us where she was going. After Ron searched the common area of the cruise ship, he woke up the rest of the family and told them that Amy was missing at 6:30 a.m. in the morning. On the morning of her disappearance, 3 witnesses claimed to have seen Bradley on the upper deck with Alice Douglas between 5:30 a.m. and 5:45 a.m. in possession of a camera. They also testified to seeing Douglas hand Bradley a drink containing dark liquid. They claimed Bradley and Douglas arrived in the elevator at the same time, and that Douglas was then seen leaving the upper deck along shortly after 6 a.m. Search and investigations. Bradley's family immediately reported her disappearance to the onboard crew and pleaded with the crew member to keep the 2,000 passengers from disembarking the cruise and to make an announcement to assist in finding Bradley. However, the team at the pursuit office informed them that it was too early to make a ship-wide announcement. The crew agreed to issue an announcement at 7:50 a.m. after a majority of the passengers had left the ship, announcing, "Will Amy Bradley please come to the purser's desk between 12:15 p.m. and 1 p.m. The crew staff searched through the ship but could not find Bradley. The delay that the crew put on the search and investigations of the disappearance has been said to have led to lowering the chances of finding Bradley by ignoring the family's pleas and allowing the passengers to disembark." Brad recalled Douglas came up to him shortly after Brad disappeared and said, "Hey man, I'm sorry to hear about your sister." No announcement has been made by the time, and Brad said the timing of the conversation was suspicious. The FBI interviewed Douglas soon after, and he submitted to a polygraph test, which he passed. Ron and Douglas came out of the interview smiling with their thumbs up to his band members like, "Everything's cool. I knew what was going on. I knew he had been with Amy." Douglas denied knowing anything about Bradley's disappearance. The Dutch Caribbean Coast Guard conducted a 4-day search that ended on March 27th, and Royal Caribbean Cruise Line chartered a boat to continue looking for her. The Coast Guard used 3 helicopters and a radar plane to assist in the search. Initially, the authorities suspected that Bradley had either fallen overboard or died by suicide. However, investigators said that there's no evidence that Amy, a trained lifeguard, fell overboard, was pushed, or committed suicide. And then there's obviously possible sightings where you can go online and everything like that. But I will go into that a little bit more. But I did want to go into a up-to-date article which was produced only 2 hours ago. And this is by The Tab online. And it said, someone upscaled photos from website Amy Bradley was found on and raises more questions. I'm not convinced it's her anymore. And this is by Haley Sowan Entertainment. So someone had upscaled the photos believed to be Amy Bradley that were found on an adult website after her disappearance. Since Amy Bradley is missing on Netflix, brought the theory to people's attention. It's all everyone has been talking about. In 2005, the Bradley family received an anonymous message from someone saying that they had seen a woman and believed to be Amy on an escorting website. The site was based in the Caribbean, and the anonymous sender said that the woman was named Jazz, but they believe it was actually Amy under a different name. At the time, the FBI concluded that the woman in the photo was Amy, but the IP address for the site couldn't be tracked, so nothing more was done. After the doc, people have dug out more photos of Jazz and said they further proved the theory the photos are of Amy, and private investigators have said he's 100% sure the woman is Amy. A further video emerged that the photo with some Amy, and the result was uncanny. Despite this, people still have no doubt someone on Reddit upscaled the photos and said after doing so, they were less sure the photos were of Amy Bradley. They said the higher quality images don't look as much like her. And this is the upscale version of Jazz Amy. I'm not so convinced that is her anymore. I thought it did look like her, to be honest with you. I really, really did. Just want to look at some of the comments, see what they say. Oh, not on there. 1 second. We'll go back. So Halloween Pumpkin says, I don't think this is Amy. The voters, I feel so bad for the woman in these voters. Her eyes are very sad. Excuse my ignorance, but had anyone tried to find the lady in these voters? I don't think it's Amy either, or skeptical at best, but just wondering without knowing if she's been tracked down for confirmation either way. Great point. We'd love to know if she's okay. Imagine being in an awful situation and if need of rescue and folks are looking for you, only if you are somewhere else, someone else. Who knows what the situation is, but since she's been all over our TVs, a potential victim of trafficking, and we know the island era she was in, maybe be worth a look into. Netflix should have some resources towards this woman's identification check. It's not a show, just validate she's safe. I got a funny feeling. I personally think it was her. Do you know what I mean? I really, really do. So sharing the pictures, the original poster, upscale vision of Jazz Amy, I'm not too sure convinced that is her anymore, but there's an interesting shadow on her shoulder blade in the fourth photo that could possibly indicate a Tasmanian devil tattoo. Interesting. Someone in the comment added, never was convinced. Another said, I don't think it's Amy in the voters. I feel so bad for the woman in these photos. Her eyes are very sad. The conclusion on the post was that no matter who the woman is in the picture, the situation is terribly sad. This is a real person. One commenter said, I hope this woman is safe and found surrounded by love during no doubt, a traumatizing time. Amy Bradley's Missing is available on Netflix now for all the latest Netflix news drop, like Holy Church of Netflix on Facebook. Interesting stuff. So technically that was the supposed to Amy lookalike. I thought it was, to be honest with you. But a lot of people don't think it is, to be honest with you. Interesting stuff. It's a weird crowd. I do think she was trafficked. That is my view. But it could have been, again, organised crime behind it. Let me know what you think, people, because like I said, I will wait to see if I can get more information from other people who are looking into this case, and I'll put it out there as well. Thank you very much indeed. Don't forget to subscribe to Streamline Entertainment, my first channel, and obviously this channel, Streamline Investigations. Thank you.